here.
All right.
What? All right. How's everybody doing tonight?
Hello.
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 All right. So I think on my end, you guys are. You weren't. I think you were muted, and that's my bad. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So talk to me.
How about now?
Yeah, you're good. All right.
Cool.
So let's get a little music going. Yeah, there we go.
Set the tone. Get the candles. I'll put some on if you want me to.
It's getting a little weird.
I don't have a lighter on me.
All right, I'm glad y'all are doing good. For those of you that might be watching, we talked a lot beforehand, so we're going to get right into it.
Set the mood.
I was like, Kenny's gone. Kenny's gone.
What's this about straw?
Brittany, are you playing?
She's still muted.
Are you playing Candy Crush, Brittany?
No, I think she's playing Trivia Crack, or she's doing something on her phone.
I don't think she can.
Well, she's
hear.
clearly doing something on her phone.
Should I go in there and like yell at her?
That she just realized.
Dang, girl, been sitting here like 40 minutes.
You're
Hi,
muted.
Brittany, we
Muted.
started.
It's work.
Huh?
That makes sense. Okay.
Oh, whoa! You see, I was just teasing you. What are you wearing, Tanner?
Don't worry.
He's wearing his Crocodile Dundee hat.
I'm trying to embrace Mulgar. Mulgar has the same
How
hat.
did I not see that earlier?
You were trying to get music started.
That's true.
Which, by the way, Kenny, your hat in the background that's kind of hanging from your door hinge looks more like a Crocodile Dundee hat than this one.
It's supposed to be like a witch doctor hat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Courtney, I really want to watch the Crocodile Dundee movies now.
That's not a knife. This is a knife.
I mean, it makes sense.
They're such quality films.
They really are.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Okay.
And Paul Hogan's one of the best.
Yes,
The
he
real
is.
question is, are there any more spiders on this dang bridge?
Well, the real question is,
I hope
are you
not.
gonna let me talk and let you know? Oh, snap!
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Oh,
What?
pops the neck like he's ready to go.
What?
Oh, wait till you get these guns out.
Just sees Ronnie fall to the floor.
Damn you, Strahd.
Did y'all hear that?
No.
Oh.
I'm surprised, man. That felt great, but it was terrifying at first.
Tanner, I would just like to point out the fact that I now have a visible beard again. It's
All right,
clear
well,
that
thanks
it's
for
there.
Making me feel inferior. Can't grow beards, thanks.
Well,
But it's okay.
all right.
All
so
right,
I forgot to change the
spiders.
title.
Many spiders.
Better not be.
I hope not. They paralyzed me. Was it paralysis?
It was web.
Yeah,
The
you were
fact-
just
oh, wait, we
restrained.
have, the fact that you shaved your beard is a disappointment, Brown, from the chat.
Nah,
What?
dude, it was No Shave November, man.
No, I shaved on October 31st.
There you go. So, side note, because we haven't started yet, do you guys know what Ronnie's fingers make me feel like?
All right, sorry. I
Mm-hmm.
realized I was not typing on my actual.
What?
It's an episode.
I
of
realized I
Ronnie
was
from
not
the
typing
Players.
on the keyboard that I'm supposed to be typing on when
Yeah,
I was
you're like
doing
spider.
it, but I was already all in, so I just went for it.
Tanner just had to make it weird.
Tanner, you are
Trying to learn about the
on another level tonight. Last time we were together, you all are on your way to Valaki. You actually left the Vistani camp at daybreak, climbed the secret but not so secret switchbacks up the mountain, to which you then came across the bridge across the river that feeds into the Seer Falls. On the bridge, you noticed that it was covered in a thick webbing where 3 giant spiders came crawling up. Not only before that, I forgot to mention that Elrin had an encounter the night before with a strange skeletal rider who dropped off seemingly a gift to her, or to him. After the gift was dropped off and you all scaled the mountain, you encountered 3 giant spiders, one of which almost did your favorite and my favorite monk in. Pretty much glued Mulgar to the bridge. But it was the actions of everyone involved that did in the three giant spiders. The last thing that we did was there was a heated argument between Elentiel and their higher
Ismark.
Ismark.
And
What a good guy.
that's where we stopped. So I think at that point, Elentiel, we're going to pick it up with you. Is there anything you'd like to say to Ismark as he's standing there staring at you?
Like, so I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't remember exactly what I said last week. I remembered the gist of it being like,
Basically, what you all were arguing about was that he didn't do a whole
Yeah,
lot to help you.
yeah, the fact that he refused to come fight was when we had people being restrained and put in danger. And I mean, I'm just gonna look at him and say, I understand that you're here to protect your sister and that you hired us. So you think that, I mean, by definition, we are your subordinates here. But here's the deal. If we die halfway between your home and Valaki, your sister's not going to survive the rest of the journey.
She
I
will
mean,
make it.
The chances are not in your favor.
I would sacrifice each and every one of you to make sure she makes it there. Don't forget that.
Or- But here's my point. You didn't feel like you could get her there safely on your own. If the 5 of us all die because you refuse to step in when we need help, then you're going to be outnumbered and outgunned, you're gonna die, and your sister's gonna easily be taken.
Forgive me for saying this, but you are... And he stops and he thinks. And he says, when it comes to my sister, Irina, and she's staring daggers in him right now. When it comes to my sister, you, and all of you,
And I
You're
kind of
merely
cut him
ca-
off, and I go, I understand that in your eyes we are disposable.
you are very
I get
disposable.
that.
When it comes to my sister, you are very disposable, and that's
And
why
I'm not
that is
arguing
not
that
the
point.
reason why you are hired. You are hired for your skills, but if it becomes between her and you are the first to go.
I'm not arguing that. I'm arguing what are you gonna do
Then who's going to
if
watch
something
her?
happens to
And
the
at this
5
point,
of us.
Irina stops and just screams, "Stop!" Ismark. And she looks at him. And she says, "You are out of line." Kaylin, what were you going to say?
I was gonna interject similar to what she just did, but she did it better than me. But Irina, what's your thoughts on this? I know when we first met, you were kind of dressed and ready to fight and protect yourself.
And I still am.
So, what are your views? We're fighting to help protect you and get you to Vallaki safely.
And I
I
appreciate that.
feel like you're wanting to fight and wanting to help. So what are your views? Like, I feel like Ismark will listen to you a little bit better than the 5 of us who...
There is a calling on me that I cannot explain, and it makes it hard to fight. I'm willing and I'm ready, even though my brother, and she shoots him another look, thinks I am not. But at times I feel that I'm in the way, and I'm here to get you hurt, and I don't like that. I don't want to get anyone hurt. And at times I feel like giving up and letting Strahd just take me. In some ways it would be better. In some ways, many ways not.
And at that moment, I'm gonna grab her wrist or her hand, whichever she allows me to grab, and say, we are not going to let Strahd take you. I look at Ismark and say, she can walk with me the entire time, and I will protect her, just like the rest of us will do, in any way possible. But if she wants to help instead of feel helpless and stay back, I think she has the right to make that call. Whether you stand and help us or you just have faith that between the 5 of us and Irina we can get it done, is up to you.
She actually stops and she lets you take her hand, and she turns it into more of a hand hold now, and she stands there with you, and she says, "I will walk with you," and she smiles, and she pulls your hand up and puts her other hand over it, and she in a semblance of thanks, and where Ismark was angry before, a softness falls on his face, more of worry. But he smiles at her weakly, and then he looks at the rest of you and says, "Come, we have about 4 hours before we get to Vallaki. And the road is hard." And he just takes off walking.
Well,
And then
we
he
should
stops and
follow.
realizes, wait, there are webs in the way. And he looks, and he's like, He pulls
No,
a
I
dagger.
cast,
He pulls a dagger and he walks over to Mulgar and starts cutting Mulgar out.
Oh, thank you.
I walk up to where the webbing is across the bridge and I cast frostbite on it, and then I just kind of smack it.
Easy enough to do.
Now, my question is, how easily does webbing burn?
Pretty easy.
So, in its frozen state, could I gather up some of this webbing for later use?
The integrity
Or-
of the web is probably going to be compromised because
that's what I
you
think.
froze
Yeah.
it, and now it's when it melts, it's going to get wet.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've
Okay.
ever seen like a spider web that's been sprayed with water.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Alrighty.
I mean, they can stand up to rain, but not like a complete immersion.
Yeah.
And being frozen is more like a complete immersion in water.
Yep.
Okay. You could, however, along the way, search for. Do you just need like as a component, or you
No,
wanted
I was
like a
thinking-
rope?
I was thinking more like
Like a net?
something we could have used to set a trap with.
Sure.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no. Unfortunately not.
Yeah.
So, okay. After Ellentil works her magic, literally, on the webs and breaks them away, the road is clear, actually. Well, the bridge is clear. It is still relatively early in the morning, not quite lunch yet. So you do have about 4 more hours to go on the road. It's not actually, it's probably less lunch than what you would, you all started probably about 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning, roughly. So you've been traveling, so it's probably about 8 or 9 o'clock. And you have 4
Do we
more
want to
hours.
stop for a moment and like take a quick breakfast, or shall we just go?
How's everybody looking?
I have 12 actual hit points and 7 temporary hit points.
12 out of what?
42.
Kaylin's looking really rough right now.
Yeah, I think we should stop and have a bite to eat.
If I can.
So would you all like to set up a short rest? Or if somebody has a healing spell or something like that they would share with Kaylin and you all can eat. I just take for granted that you all eat rations on the road if you don't tell me that you're stopping to
That's
rest.
true. Well, Mulgar would step in and be like, "Yo, Kaylin, it's Mulgar. I have, if we don't want to stay, tell the whole place. Like, if we don't want to stay, we'll gladly, bring your spirits back."
Well, if I can at least get some more hit points to, bring me back up a little bit better, then that would be great, because I don't know how much more combat I will be able to survive.
That is fine. Okay, give me a second. Oh, all right. Mulgar will walk up to you and be like, "Bam, cure wounds. I'm gonna heal you for."
Yep.
That's one of those-
I just pictured the
I've been to those churches before.
televangelists laying on
Yeah.
hands where they just kind of bonk you on the head and
That's-
your demons be gone.
I literally just said I've been to those churches before.
Mulgar heals you for 21 hit points.
Woo!
Holy cow!
What level
Mulgar
did you
coming
cast that
in
at?
I
Clutch.
cast it at second level.
Okay.
Mulgar is fantastic.
Takes his hands and
Mulgar coming in
gloves them.
clutch.
Bam!
Holy crap.
Nice.
Release the good.
Release the good.
Clear.
I just spilled all my dice.
And this is how you lose your D2s.
Yeah.
This
Still
is how
haven't
you
found
lose
it.
D4 and you find them later.
That's
Oh man. All right, I'll calm down a little bit, but yeah, I healed you for. Oh.
Appreciate it.
Oh.
So, with my temporary hit points, I am almost back to where.
Well, your temporary hit points are above and beyond.
Yeah,
Your
I know,
max.
but I have 33 hit points now that.
Well, so do we
Mulgar
want to
healed
take a
me.
short rest here and eat breakfast?
I'm still feeling fit and healthy, so we can keep
Yeah,
going.
yeah.
I was about to say,
I'm
right
unscathed.
now, I feel okay. I'm only 9 points down.
Never tell your
So.
DM you came out unscathed.
My character was basically taking a nap, but before we go though, Mulgar I think is gonna look at Ismark and like he's gonna look like, dude man, you're being a jerk, and he's gonna suggest that he takes the rear of the party, and you know.
I suppose you know
Near
your way.
me.
I suppose you know your way to Velaki then.
What Mulgar just did is he put Ismark and Elentiel as physically as far away from each other as possible.
So, Mulgar, is it? Do you know your way to the village that we're going to? What?
No.
No?
No,
Speak
but
up.
I'm familiar with mountainous regions. You know, just let me touch Mother Earth, and she'll guide us. She'll give me the answer. Do you know where you're going? Have you been on this path before?
Yes. I live here.
Insight.
Go for it.
I got it. What?
No, no, no,
Because
no,
you live
no.
here doesn't mean.
Yeah, like I've lived in Burlington my entire life. That doesn't mean I can't get lost.
Yeah, right. I mean, if
7.
he hasn't
7.
been this way
You-
before, like, it doesn't matter.
It
who's
seems
up.
like.
It makes sense. Yeah, he lives here, so he would know his way here around. You know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he. There is one road. I know it.
Can I can I turn and whisper to Arena and be like, have y'all walked this path before?
There is one road. He knows it.
There's only
Like-
one road. We can't go from it.
There are
But I
different.
thought that
There are different turns. There are different smaller roads that lead different places.
So what we'll do is when we come to a crossroads, we'll ask for your expertise.
question.
Here's the deal.
Play telephone.
And
clarify
Ismark looks at you and says,
for-
"Here's the deal. I'm leading the way. Kaylin, is it you will walk in the middle with my sister?"
Yes. But question, just clarifying for me as
What?
player slash,
Okay.
I guess me as character.
Mhm.
Didn't homeboy from the camp who snuck over to talk to us tell us about this trail?
He told you about the trail to get up the mountain.
Yeah, he did not
Okay,
tell
but
us.
now
Yeah.
we're on like the actual trail.
You're on the
that-
actual road.
Okay.
Okay.
That
So
makes
You're
me
on
feel
the
a little
we were
road.
bit
still on the
better.
mountain
Yes.
pass too.
No, you.
I was really
The
confused
bridge.
about
Okay,
how.
hold on, guys. The bridge across the river has led you to the mountain. Has led you over the river, and through the woods. And no.
Almost to grandmother's house.
Almost. You could say that. But here's the
God.
deal. You guys are
Oh,
trying
you
to-
guys.
you're trying to put him in the back, and he is not
No, it's
having
okay,
it.
no. If we're on an
Okay.
actual road, Mogal can understand. Scratch that from the record. You know, retcon that.
No. You've already said what you said to him.
I have not said a word to him
Oh,
since our
He didn't
little
look.
spat.
He wasn't looking at you. I mean, I'm not looking at Ellen Till. I'm saying that Mulgar already said what he said.
Yeah.
Well, we just need to go. We're wasting
But
time here.
foxes do have a tendency to get underfoot and trip people up.
And I hear fox tastes delicious.
I
And then he
didn't
just
say
starts-
that to
Oh.
to Ismark.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was saying that to Ronnie, the DM.
Oh,
Oh, Ronnie, you already said that.
and the DM says, "I hear fox tastes delicious." It probably doesn't. It's probably really gamey.
Yeah.
He just takes off walking. He's like, "Enough," and leaves.
Here's what I-
Follow me.
And so
And we're off.
We're
and
off.
I still have okay. So to anybody, I'm looking for name suggestions for my Arctic fox.
Okay. Didn't know about that.
Spencer.
Spencer.
I'm
Okay.
I'm usually decent with names, but I've got a lot going on in the head right now.
Yeah.
You said we have how many hours till we get to Valaki?
4. Are you all following him?
No. Yeah.
Yeah. My fox, I'm gonna have do some. Is gonna stay kind of at like the 95-foot mark
Okay.
ahead,
Okay.
doing some scouting out.
Now, are you doing the blind and deaf thing, or are you just letting it?
No,
talk to you?
I'm just I'm gonna let her do her scouting and just communicate anything back to me that she hears up ahead.
Okay. Have her roll a perception check.
Okay. That's so bad. With advantage, I rolled a 5 and a 1. So that's an 8.
Pocket sand.
She sees a whole lot of road and a whole lot of dead, dying, scary trees.
Okay.
So she's so scared that she doesn't really notice.
She's not familiar with the terrain. She's an Arctic fox, and this is mud
that's good.
and swamp and
Yeah.
dead. And
Got it.
it's not really. I mean, there are so many new smells to this fox of
It's
of
perfect.
decay and stuff like that. That it's overwhelming to her.
Yeah.
All right, so along the way, here is the marching order for Ismark and Arena. Ismark is ahead, and he's trying to keep steps ahead of you all. Not far ahead, but like maybe 5-10 paces ahead, just to stay away from the group. Elentil, you're behind him.
Yep.
Who is behind Elentil?
Oh, I'll be behind Helen too.
Mulgar, and then Kalen and Irina.
I'm at the end.
Okay, and then that would leave Elrin and then Enoch. As you're walking, I'm not saying that you're in exactly like perfect, single file marching formation. It's just that's just how when you're walking. You may move about if you so choose and talk to one another, but that's kind of just how the DM sees it. So I'll let you know that ahead of time. The only one that would be in not shouting distance, but you have to raise your voice a little bit, would be Ismark. As you're walking
We just throw
along,
a stone at him if we want his attention.
right? I need Elentil and Enoch both to roll perception checks for me,
Okay.
because being
You got it.
being the front and the rear, you all have been voluntold to be the lookouts.
20. Even. Not
Okay.
crit.
2.
I think you need to change dice.
That was a different die.
Elentil, you are busy communicating with your fox.
Yeah.
You should call your fox Sliver.
So your fox is a
I
little
yell that.
is a little distraught, mainly because
I like your
a
fox.
new place, weird, doesn't seem right to your fox. On the other hand, Enoch, as you're walking, you notice off the road, just half a foot off the road, there's a tree, and to that tree there is a large nail that is sticking out of it, and something hanging from that nail. Looks like something like a loop, like a rope.
Hey guys, there's a tree with a nail on it and a thing of rope.
Probably, well, I wouldn't say rope, but more like string. Maybe about this, loop about this big.
I point that out. Okay, what's that? Can
Do
I
we
go
get
look?
is
You want to go look?
Right. Oh,
Do what,
Let's go.
Brittany? Elrin?
Then I guess I'd go investigate it.
Both of you? Okay.
Okay,
You know-
what's
team
the-
back of the party. Let's go.
Yeah, Enoch, Elrin, as you walk up, you notice that this looks to be more of like a hempen rope, a little bit aged, but there are things dangling from the end of it. And they're kind of bunched up, but as you go, you look, you notice that there are long, slender things that are hanging down. If you get a little closer, you can look and you will see that there are fingers hanging from this, and it looks like a necklace made of 4 slender fingers hanging off of
It's
this hempen rope.
Do they look human?
Shh, you're not there.
You're not there.
Okay.
What she said. Did they look human?
I knew he was going to do that. I tell you what, make a medicine check for me.
How about no?
How
What
about
does the area around it look like? Does it look like there's a trail leading off somewhere?
you make a perception check for me?
I got a 19 on the medicine.
You got a 19? Okay.
Wait,
Well,
it's
you did-
intelligence, right?
Medicine? Yes.
Yeah, I got a -1 to that. So 19.
17.
17 and 19. Okay, let me do the fingers first. You've seen these kind of fingers. They are slender. They are lithe. They are elven. They're elven fingers. You can tell just by the makeup. You know, by the way they're made, the way they look, the knuckle strap. I mean, they're dried too. You can tell. So someone has taken the time to almost mummify these and make a necklace out of them. 17 on the
Okay.
perception. Elrin, what you see, there are older footprints around, bare feet. Humanoid feet, not paws or anything like that. You do notice that there are some that are covered, maybe boot, maybe moccasin kind of, but they are covered.
They go in a specific direction, or
They are
just kinda-
all crazy. But they all kind of lead straight out into the mist, into off the road.
All right. I guess
I'll
I'll
grab
just
it.
try and relay the information to my elven friends that there are elf fingers on a necklace on a tree.
That are now
They might
in
want to watch
possession.
out.
They are now in possession of your party member, Enoch.
Yeah, like I'll lift it up.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
they're
you
elven
go show them
fingers.
that. Yeah, it's not okay.
No, I'm
You go
standing right
ahead.
here and doing it. Like these are elven.
Nah, I'm good.
Kaylin, Elentil, Elentil is not necessarily elven, but looks elven, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so basically
You're Fae.
I am elven, but I am so where most of the normal elven races split and became more humanoid, I'm much closer to what elves originally were before whatever the war or banishment that happened to the elves in Mordekainen's.
So you have more of an elongated ear.
Mm-hmm.
Your skin
And
is
I
blue.
look more fey than I do elven.
And Kaylin is straight up high elf.
Yes.
But
So
how do you all
maybe I'll
react to
linger.
these? They both you guys tell you that there's a necklace made of 4 elven fingers hanging from this tree, and now Enoch's like shaking it, going, "Hey, look what I found!"
I'm gonna be more on the lookout now, because I kind of want to make it to Valaki.
Okay.
Like there's a trail that leads into the
Not-
woods, but we're not going to go that way. That's just
Yeah,
not-
no. Mm-mm.
Can I take the nail out of the piece of tree?
Sure.
Yeah, if we come across
For-
a person that
for
wants
poops
more
and giggles?
necklaces, we can stab him with it.
For poops and giggles, make a
You're gonna
strength
have to-
check. and you're hoping nobody watches as you like hold, and then you put one foot on the tree, and you're like, and it finally pops, and you're like, oh, you know, kind of a deal. And you look around, and Elrin notices it. He's standing right there, but you pull it out. The tree's old. The nail is wrought iron, rusty, and seemingly just a nail.
Okay. I'm going to put it all into, like, my backpack.
Okay. Cool. All right. You continue on. You all have marched for about an hour on. Oh, bless you. An hour on. Hour and a half on. Well, that was the wrong die. Okay.
Sounded like the same die. You sure you're getting this right?
Yeah, I have 4 in here, and I rolled one of the wrong ones.
It's the other one.
Continue on. You walk down the road. The mud splashing beneath your feet. A cold breeze. Clickety click. Clickety click. Click click click.
I don't have a membrane keyboard anymore. Courtney took it away.
I just heard it. I was like, wow. Somebody's microphone is on their keyboard. No, I don't care. There is a colder breeze in the air as it cuts through. You all hear the sounds that are coming from around you should be at night. Most of them. The distant howl, the insects, chittering of some sort of animal that most of you probably don't know what it is. Then all of a sudden, as you walk, Kaylin.
Yes.
As you're walking, you notice something.
Okay.
Off to your right, past is Irina. There is a large something. It's black, has kind of a sheen to it, and it's kind of stuck in the ground between a dead, dying bush and another large tree.
I'm gonna tell Arena to get on the other side of me, so that way she's further away from it.
And she looks at you and looks over. And she says, you know, I've been thinking. The fingers you found, there are, I guess you would say, a tribe? I'm not sure how to really describe them, but there are people here that live in the wild. We call them berserkers. Some are good, some don't care about anything but themselves, and then some are servants of Strahd like others here.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be them. But if that is what you're worried about, and she points to the large object, she goes, I would be more concerned with the fingers. I don't know what that is. And you see Ismark ahead. He stops and he turns and he looks. He's like, why are you all stopped? What is this?
And I'll tell her I understand, but in case something happens when I go to look at it, I don't want you to be
You're gonna go check it out?
Next to it, but yeah, I want to go check it out.
What you see as you walk closer is you notice this is a large, probably the size of a small shield.
Mm-hmm.
Black scale.
Oh.
One scale jammed into the ground.
Would I know what this scale is possibly from?
Make a nature check.
Doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo. 12.
Looks remotely like a dragon scale. This could be a dragon scale. And from the color and from everything, I mean, it looks like a black dragon scale.
Is there anything other than like the dead bushes and trees around it that I noticed, like maybe footprints or
Not that you can
anything to
see. Make one more perception check for me.
6?
No, because that is you're pretty darn sure that's a dragon scale, and that's what you're kind of focused on right now.
How big did you say this dragon scale was?
The size of a small shield.
So I'm gonna turn and look at the party and say, hey guys, and try and bring Ismark back a little bit closer, and say, we might really want to be on the lookout because if I'm not mistaken, this is a dragon scale, and if there's a dragon scale here, there's probably a dragon, and we might not want to really face that right now.
Ismark
And then
looks
just kind
at
of
you
look
and
at the party
says,
while they don't.
there hasn't been a dragon in Barovia for a long time.
Are you
And he
sure?
walks over and he goes, I'm very sure. I grew up here. And he walks
Has
and he
this
leaves.
always
He's
been here?
intrigued now. Irina is kind of got her hands, on the elbows and kind of hugging herself and looking around. She seems a little cold. But as Ismark looks up, he walks over and goes, oh my. And he pulls his longsword and he starts poking at it a little bit. Not, he's not attacking. He's looking, and he taps.
Yeah, like you would a body with a stick.
Yeah. He taps the body with the stick, and he pokes at it. And he sheathes his sword once again, and he pulls it from the ground. And he flips it around, and he looks, and he goes, "Wow!" And he holds it, and he actually can. He pulls. It is a shield. Someone has fashioned it. He goes, someone has fashioned a shield out of this dragon scale.
And just left it here.
There are many things that do not make sense in this land. It could have been a wayward adventurer who was killed. Or it could
And that
have...
means it marks where his body is.
Well, I never thought of
It
that.
could have been eaten by wolves.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Yes. I did not see
I'm gonna
any
take
signs
a
of a
look
grave.
around. I'm going to take a look around and see if anything just looks like it's about to be odd.
Make a perception check.
Okie dokie.
So I'm pretty sure I cannot use the shield. You got a 5. Great.
Everything seems pretty clear. But you are eyeing the shield.
I do have a quick question. So
Sure.
Ismark did pick the shield up, right?
Yes.
Is he like okay? Nobody like checked to see like. Does he look okay?
Yeah, he looks fine.
Okay, never mind then. Mogar will whistle. Ooh.
That doesn't seem suspicious, Mulgar.
Nope.
He stops and he
So-
looks and he goes, I don't necessarily need this. And he looks at he looks at it, and then he looks at, well, Elendil, Enoch, and Mulgar, and he says, all of you, I mean, would one of you want this?
I just kind of I point at the greatsword on my back and said, I don't have a free hand for a shield.
Yeah, like
He says, Okay.
Stab the fuck out of it.
He hands it over to you, Enoch.
Ooh, are you sure?
Yes.
Like, no.
Consider this
And
my apology to you. There are apologies coming to each one of you later.
Oh.
Something good
Much
to have.
appreciated.
It still stands that sister comes first, and you hear, ugh, from Arena, and they make their
Courtney, you're not allowed to spit take all over the computer.
that would be bad. Be hilarious, but bad.
I'm gonna change out like the shield I carry and put it back where the dragon scale shield was,
Okay.
and just like, hey man, sorry. Hope this helps. Good luck wherever you're going.
So you're not gonna dual wield shields now?
No,
Would be. I don't know how to. Wow.
no.
Okay.
Excuse me while I go deal with my cat.
Right on.
Is that not the cat on the bed directly behind her?
No.
Walking forward, you all walk for another hour or so, roughly. I'm sorry. You walk for another half an hour, and you come to a crossroads. In the distance, you see, as you're approaching this crossroads, you see another set of gates exactly like you saw when you first got here. Two massive statues on either side. But this time, the gate's doors are wide open. Not the small ones that you can walk through, but the large ones that allow caravans and wagons and things to go through.
Wait, hold on. We're just now getting to the giant statues?
Just now?
These are new ones.
These are new.
Oh, these are new ones. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
the
It's
giant
very
statues
similar to
are
what we saw.
way far behind you.
Yeah, that's why I was confused.
Yeah, no, these are new ones. They said much like,
Okay.
as you continue
So
walking
this is
forward,
locked.
Kaylin, you would notice that Irina is getting uneasier and easier. Just getting uneasier as you continue. And she's fidgeting with her clothes, her leather armor, and rubbing her neck. And as you walk, you come to a crossroads. There's a massive, very familiar black carriage sitting off to the right, on the road off to the right.
I'm gonna. So, is there a way? Is it like in the front towards Ismark, or is it?
Here's the road.
Uh-huh.
Here's one fork, and here's the other.
Mhm.
This one leads to the gates.
Uh-huh.
This one has the massive carriage that you all have seen before, sitting on the side of the road. Ismark,
I'm gonna look at her and say, "You recognize this, don't you?"
he is not there. And she says it with an eerie, almost monotone drone. And
I'm
Ismark
gonna
turns
look
around
at
and
her.
says, "We must hurry past this place. The road that you see and the carriage that you see lead to Castle Ravenloft. And that is where the demon dwells."
I'm gonna grab Arena's hand, and it's Mulgar who's in front of me, right? I'm gonna grab Arena's hand, and I'm gonna tell Mulgar, she's getting very uncomfortable, and with my experiences with that carriage and what happened the first time we saw it, I'm gonna say, will you please make sure that you kind of stay closer to that side to help make sure that, like, you can kind of warn us if something is coming from that direction as we walk by.
Mogar would probably say yeah, and sort of shift his movement, I guess, to closer to that side and stay vigilant towards.
I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna run up to Arena and touch her and protect her using the protection good evil thingy.
Okay, protection from good and evil.
Yes.
Very good. Okay. I like it. I like it a lot.
Does that help Arena feel a little bit more relaxed?
I will say
know.
this. She is still very uneasy. She is not unwilling, so she lets you do it. But she is more compliant now, much more compliant. And she stops and she kind of shakes her head and she looks at you, Elrin, and she says, "Thank you. We must go. We must go now." And she pulls your hand, Caitlin, and then she touches Elrin's shoulder and just says, "Thank you." And Ismark just shakes his head and he says, "Sister, we will find the help that you need." And as you all pass this carriage, each of you all hear small squeaks. Did it scare you? You hear...
No, Felix is messing with something he shouldn't be.
And they get louder, and you hear scratching and squeaks and a little bit of chittering, and you look, and near the crossroads, as you pass it, you look back near the carriage, you just see a massive wave of rats roll up, and they start climbing on top of each other, scurrying and forming what seems to be a pillar, and writhing and screeching as all of a sudden they take a humanoid form. Still being made of rats, you see distinctly 2 legs, 2 arms, and a head. And the one arm lifts, and you see a small rat fall and skitter back into the group. And you all hear, each of you, the whisper, "Irina." And she looks at all of you and says, "We must go." And she is terrified. And with that, you just see the rats, they fall and run off into the woods.
I'm gonna hold her hand even tighter and say, "We will get there."
Ismark at this point has both his short sword and his long sword drawn, and he is ready to go. You all make your way through...
I'm ready. Sword and board.
You all make your way through the gates. They're almost identical to the ones that you all passed through before. The make, the wood, the stone, everything, the statues stand there, motionless, emotionless, staring off as to protect from nothing, because they are old and withered and broken. The road leads into a stretch with woods, dense woods on either side. And you continue walking, the mud, the cold biting at your ankles. You come across, as you come out of the wooded part, you come across another road. It curls around that breaks off from the main road. At the top of this road, you see an old, almost dilapidated windmill. The fabric that's hanging from each of the blades just gently flowing in the breeze. There's no light at this windmill. The muddy road winds up a hill. It seems odd, but quiet.
Is this the only path that we have?
You can go straight on or go up to the windmill. The windmill's off the road. I mean, there's an extra road that leads up to it.
Okay.
And Ismark looks and he says, "That place, I've never been to it.
Let's start. Not start now. Let's go."
Yeah, we gotta keep going.
It's called Old Bone Grinder. Let's carry on." And you curve around and you come down a small hill, and then you continue on, curving around this one set of woods that's only onto the left side, but the right side is a hill, a rolling hill that goes up a bit. You continue on the old Slavic road, entering in the woods on either side. Ismark is double timing it. He is good to go. But as you're walking, Ismark passes by a clearing. And in this clearing, you can see as you're coming to it, there is a massive lake. What seems to be a massive lake behind it. And you hear Arena say, "That is Lake Zarovich." It's a terrible name, but that's what it's called. It's Lake Zarovich.
Why is it called that?
Well, you've heard of Strad von Zarovich. It's named after the Tsar. Yes, you get what I'm saying.
Right.
Beyond that is the Slavic woods. And up there, and she points to this massive mountain range. She says, Mount Baratok. They're not, no one, only the bravest of hunters and adventurers and those that are only seeking trouble, go into the Slavic woods. It's dangerous there. And she just looks as you all continue on. This clearing, you all do see a boat in the lake.
How is Arena acting?
Better.
Okay.
Better.
So she doesn't seem like she's reacting to anything at this point.
No.
Okay.
How long before we reach Vallaki?
Probably another hour to half an hour. Maybe less.
Cool. Let's go.
As you're all are, this is a large clearing that you all are walking by. The lake, the water in the lake is dark and still, but you do see that rowboat. Kaylin, you would probably notice it the most, mainly because your passive perception is higher than everybody else's. But you see a man stand up in this boat, and he is way out there, but you see him stand up, and he picks up something in a bag, and flings it over his shoulder, and it's a large something in like maybe a burlap sack. It's a brown bag, brown sack. at this point, if you're curious as to what it is or what's going on, I need you to make a perception check.
Sorry, my cat's trying to deal with everything right now. It's a 19.
19. I would imagine that you step a little bit off, not off the road, but near the edge of the road and look.
Mm-hmm.
And you see that this sack is moving and struggling. And
I'm gonna tap Mulgar with my other hand and be like, I think something is still alive in that bag, and they're about to throw it in the.
And as you say that, you just watch as this man yeet and throws it into the water.
Morgan's gonna
She
look
feel
back
wanted
and
to
be
do
like,
this.
Do you think we should help this person? This place is strange.
We don't even know if it's a person. It could just be a bunch of puppies.
Yeah.
And you all...
Okay, if it's puppies.
Did Ellen Teal see this?
No, only Kaylin and Mulgar now.
Okay.
So even Arena, who's right next to me, who's been holding my hand, isn't part of that. Okay.
Yeah. She's like, this doesn't feel right. What is happening?
Should I
Let's go. Let's go save him. Whatever
jump
it is.
in,
At that point,
This is
are you all going towards the shore?
I look at Arena and say, "This isn't normal, correct?"
No. I mean, there are fishermen
okay.
that are on people do fish this. And you watch as he reaches down and pulls out a pole, puts it down, and then just takes a big old slug of something out of a bottle and just watches as this sack kind of sinks.
How far away is he from us?
Yeah.
How far away from you are they?
Yeah.
He is, if you continue in, excuse me, he's going to be probably
I'll be right back.
100 feet off the shore, maybe a little more.
Is there another boat on the shore?
There are as you come to the shore. Yes, there are about 3 rowboats that are tied up.
So let's too far to swim.
Does anyone have like mold earth or something where we can like whoosh and darn?
We have row these boats gently over to the sack.
So I'm gonna look at Ismark and say, I feel like we should probably deal with this. And jump in.
Ismark was like, "Deal with what? What are you all doing?"
And I explained to him what I just saw, and I'm hoping Arena will back me up here.
Well, I will back you up for sure.
In Mulgar.
Yeah.
Irina's like, there's something. He's like, there's always something here. Everything is weird here. Everything is odd. And she just shakes her head and says, "Please go find out, please, for me."
So
And we go.
All right, so you're getting in the boat.
yes.
You see the man turn around and look at the shore, and he is already uneasy because it's, he's on a boat. But he looks at you, and just with one hand, he looks at the bottle and the rod, and he drops the fishing pole down, and he goes, "Shh," as you all are getting into the boat. And he's like, "I'm waiting for my reward."
Reward?
He's yelling this over the lake, right?
Oh, yes. He's wanting you to be quiet, but he's yelling at you.
I'll yell back, "What's the reward?
Fish!
Who's going to give you the reward?"
The lake! And he takes a big
What
old
did you-
swig.
What did you toss in the water?
A sacrifice.
Of
Delete.
what?
And as you all are, who's rowing?
Me.
All right. You, make a strength check.
No. Okay. 21.
Jeez.
Nice.
21? Okay. You actually are getting there quicker than what you would realize. There is some oomph in your rowing. He looks,
Not the puppies. No.
and he's like, stop. And you see that he is, as you get closer to him, this is a hollow shell of a man that you're seeing. Like sunken eyes, drawn skin. He is...
Is he dead?
No, not that you can tell, but he's probably very hungry.
Is
Open
Arena
that sucker
with
up.
us?
I'm trying. It's hard.
How far are we away from him now? At this
You're
point?
probably about within 25, between 30 and 50 feet.
How long has passed since the bag's been in the water?
I'm going to say it finally is sunk into the water completely. And you're looking at, if you tarry any longer, it's going to be upward of 30 seconds to a minute that it's submerged.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Mogar's seeing this, I guess. I'm like super blinking. He's gonna jump in the water in wild shape. I guess into. I'm pretty sure he probably has saw a creature like this, a giant crab. Does that work?
Where are you
I
from?
mean, like the forest, but I assume there's like a beach maybe.
It can be a tuna.
A big
Okay.
salmon.
I'm trying to
You
pick
could be
something
like
that
a
can,
large
take the
fish,
bag up.
like a
Okay,
giant
yeah.
salmon.
I'll do that then.
Okay.
I need to do something to get the bag. Is what
So
I'm
what
trying
you
to
all see is Mulgar jump and kind of rock your all's boat a little bit, and
say. Hey.
oh gosh, excuse me. Wild shape
Ronnie, good job.
midair into a massive fish, and hit. And you see this man's eyes just light up, and he sits the bottle down and grabs the pole and just launches it into the lake. He's like, "Look, it's already happening." Mulgar, make
Is he drunk?
Oh, he's wasted.
Okay.
Make a
Mind you,
perception check, Mulgar.
Beelining it for his boat.
Okay.
Like ramming speed.
Okay.
18.
18. You see this bag as it's dipping down, and you see the bag kicking, almost like things, struggling in it. Something's struggling in this bag. Are you going to the bag?
Yeah, can I try to like push it up because I'm a fish? I mean, I can't.
You can still use your mouth. You're a huge
Oh,
fish.
wow, I'm a giant fish. That's true. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go up to the bag then.
I'm going to say with it being a fish, you can grab this with your mouth and pull it up. And if you drop your wild shape to tread water, you can hold this bag.
All right, I'll do that then.
Okay. This, whatever's in this, as you bring it up, you hear, and you hear coughing. And this coughing is a young voice, and this whatever's in this bag, it feels remotely humanoid, very humanoid, and small.
Am I close enough to our our little boat that we took out here?
You're on the other side of it. You're near this drunk guy's boat.
Oh well, then can I push the bag in his boat and try to climb up?
Yeah, and as you heave the bag in and start climbing up, he's going to start just trying to hit you with his fishing rod, his fishing pole. He's like, no, this is for the lake. It is my sacrifice for the lake. I need to eat.
Can I shout out at Mulgar and say, just pull his fishing rod?
At that time, How hard are you like you're rowing straight into his boat?
Yeah.
Mulgar, your boat, bam, hits the side of this boat, right? Mulgar, make a dexterity saving throw.
All right.
You got this, homie.
Exact same thing. What'd you get?
4.
This boat cracks into the side of your boat. Cracks in the side of his boat. You see Mulgar heaving himself up in his boat, and he just flops back into the water. The man that's
Did I see
standing
the
there trying to
bag?
smack Mulgar, just you hit it, and he goes butt over tea kettle into the water as well. The bag itself, where it's laying on the bottom of the boat, hits the side of the boat, and you hear you hear words coming from this bag, but you can't really understand them because they're in a different language.
It's a talking bag. Get it.
Something you all have never heard before. And you hear from this bag, let me out. Let me out.
Yeah.
Can that fisherman
It's a
swim?
sentient bag of holding.
That's what I'm thinking.
Don't you wish? What?
No, I asked. This is stupid, but I asked if the fisherman can swim.
He is sputtering, and no, he doesn't look like he's doing a good job right now.
Sucks to be you.
Yeah, dude, forget him. Now, can I try to climb up back on the boat and I guess pull the sorry staff back on the boat?
Say that again for me.
No, I was wondering if I can like try to climb back in the boat and then pull the sorry staff of a fisherman dude back onto the boat.
Sure.
And then I want to look at Enoch because I'm sure he was the one that was like rowing, right? And I'm just gonna give you a stare, like, how could you? You
Easily,
saw me.
like this.
So you untying the bag? Did you say, Mulgar?
Yeah, I'm gonna untie the bag. Yeah.
Okay. What you see in there?
What is it?
Oof.
It isn't an orb.
What you see in there is a young, sandy blonde, kind of tan little girl. She is drenched, but she is wearing, as you pull down the sack, she's wearing brightly colored little dress with an apron on it. And she has bracelets around her wrist. And she looks, and she is, you can't tell if it's water or tears, but she is distraught. And she looks and she says, "That man threw me into the lake because he wanted to sacrifice." And she just breaks down and like sits down and curls up on the bottom of the boat. And Mulgar, you hear behind you sputtering and thrashing as this man is actively drowning right now.
Oh God, I'm gonna let him drown just a little bit, and then I'm gonna reach down and pull him up.
Okay.
And then like ask him why did he throw this girl into the boat or into the water? I mean, sorry.
What's your strength again?
Oh, dude, 16.
16, easy enough because he is a very light, skinny young man or skinny older man. You pull him up and he is like coughing and water coming out, and he's just expunging all this water from his lungs, it feels like. And he looks at you and says, she is nothing. She is one of those, whoever they are. They come and go and they think they're better than us. And he says, I have not caught a fish in a week. Not one. And they are lucky.
Does she look Vistani?
Oh, she looks very Vistani. And he said, these Vistani, they're lucky. And if I gave her to the lake, I would get that luck. And it would give me a
Says
fish
who?
in return. Do you have a better idea?
I'm gonna
Get
punch him in
better
the
at
face
fishing.
and ask him.
You're gonna what?
I'm gonna punch him in the face.
Make an attack roll.
Okay. Dude, the man like tried to drown a girl.
While
dude.
he's doing this, is there room for the little girl on our boat?
Yeah.
Slash, are we close
Yeah,
enough
she's
for
a
me
tiny
to
girl.
grab her and
I rolled an 18.
You
So can I
drilled
give-
him.
Him advantage?
No, you drilled him in the face. Roll whatever your unarmed attack damage. 1d4.
Yeah, I think it's just 1d4. Yeah. Not that it matters. I mean, I'm not gonna kill the guy in one punch. Let's hope not. I rolled a 2.
You knocked him flat out.
Oh, actually, it's just a straight 4 damage. So
Straight 4 damage. You knocked him out plus some teeth.
Oh god. So he's not gonna talk to me anymore.
He's
like,
out. He is blowing snot bubbles on the ground or on the bottom of the boat right now.
I just drop him back into the boat.
Okay. After a while, this young girl stands up and she wipes her nose and she looks and she goes, "Can you please take me to the shore?"
yes.
And we row back.
I'll take this sorry sack.
Do we know if we've seen any Vistani since we've left their camp, or
Nope. She's
so
the first
do I feel
Vistani.
like I should keep her with us?
So y'all row back to shore. She's the first one to jump out of the boat.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, my name, and she looks, and all of a sudden she draws herself up with more maturity than you would expect from a young girl. She says, "My name is Arabelle. I live in the Vistani camp just outside of the village, just outside of Valaki. I can make my way from here. Valaki is not very far up the road. I'm certain that my
Why don't-
father, Luvash, he will give you a reward for saving me. But now, I need to get back to my father and to my people. But thank you. Please, come visit us on the outskirts of Valaki." And she just takes off. She's running.
So she doesn't even let me like look at her and say, "Let us walk you back to
She's
your
gone.
camp."
This was a rather harrowing experience for her. She does not want to stick around.
I'm gonna look at Ismark and I'm gonna say, since it's right outside of Valaki, can we make sure she got there okay?
And he is like blown away. His eyes are wide. He's like, "What is happening? Who are you all? Why do things happen around? We are almost to Valaki. Let us get there. Let us get settled in, and we can make sure she gets there."
Well,
Okay.
Mogar's gonna interrupt and be like, "Well, before we go, what should we do with this man?"
Say that again, Mulgar.
Mogar would want to know, what are we gonna do with the man that I just like put to sleep?
Let him stay there.
You've already punched him in the face, it seems. Well, I guess you all would have told him that. Leave him. Did you get his name?
I did not.
I did. It was.
Listen, we just leave him. We will report him to the authorities in Valaki.
Is his bottle of booze still in the other rowboat?
Yes.
Mine.
Okay. Oh goodness. Gimme.
Is Arena okay after all of
She's
this?
just as confused as Ismark. She's like, I don't know. What is
Hey, we could
happening.
follow the kid back, and we don't need Ismark for all this. Just saying.
She's gone.
She's
ran.
running. She is beating feet right now.
Fine.
Ismark looks at you and says, "You all
I
said
know. Back of the line. I got it.
the Blue Water Inn, correct?"
What was her father's name?
Her father is
Yes.
Luvask. Luvash. Sorry, Luvash. I said ask. Luvash. Luvash.
Thank you.
No problem.
And when Ismark indicates that he's ready to go, like
He's ready to go.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
ready to go. Okay. You all are walking. You all do actually come to, as you're walking up the road a ways. The road comes to an. That's not right. Why is that doing that to me right now? Sorry, my computer. I'm having a bit of some
technical difficulties.
There we go. It's fixed. All right. There we go. Fixed. As you all make your way up the old Slavic road, it meanders into a valley. Kind of dips down a little bit. Watched over by dark and brooding mountains to the north and to the far south. The woods that are lining the road recede, and revealing a sullen mountain berg surrounded by a wooden palisade. Thick fog presses up against the wall, as though in some spots it's looking for a way in, hoping to catch the town asleep. The dirt road you're walking ends at a set of sturdy iron gates, with a pair of shadowy figures standing behind them. Planted in the ground and flanking the outside of the gates are about a half dozen pikes with wolves' heads impaled on them. Each of the heads are the mouths are agape, the tongue is lolled out, and they've been there for a little bit.
I call my fox, who by the way I've come up with a name for.
Okay,
my fox's name is Aurora.
Aurora, very nice. I like it.
She kind of comes and like is on my shoulders.
Okay.
Okay. Do these wolf heads look similar to the ones that pushed us like at the gates into Barovia? Like when we were.
They look like wolf heads.
Okay.
They've been on this pike for some time, so they're a little hard to really
decipher.
I mean, they look gross. So,
how tall is it from
the palisade?
The top of the pike to the ground?
15 feet.
Ah, okay. To the palisade, now that you made me curious.
Huh?
and to the palisade, now that you made me kind of curious.
That's a wooden palisade. Oh, the pike? The pike is about 6 feet tall. I mean, it's like, so the wolf head will be in your face. You know, about 5 to 6 feet tall. It's just a pike.
Oh.
You know.
Well,
The wall, the palisade is 15 feet tall.
Okay. On the last wolf head, I'm going to put the fingers necklace in one of its mouths.
Thank you for letting that go.
You're welcome. It seemed like a good effigy.
Oh, goodness gracious. That's funny. As you walk up to the gate, there are 2 guards, a male and a female human, that you can see through the iron gate.
One of us tells the truth, the other one tells lies.
I got that reference.
I did too. Instead of spears, you notice in their hands they carry pikes.
You like the ones behind us now?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
The weapons, you notice, are a bit longer than the ones behind you, probably because they've buried stuck the ones in the ground. These weapons are long enough to look like they could stab through the bars of the gate at anything coming at them. They look at you and the man says, "Halt, who goes there?" And the woman tightens her grip around her pike. Goes, who have we here? What is your business?
Can we assume Ismark's talking since he would be the first one to approach?
You can assume
Right.
that. Ismark would look at you and look at each of you and just shrug, and he goes, "My name is Ismark.
Tap Ismark.
Do not touch me. My name is Ismark, and I am from Borovia. You might know my father. He was the mayor, the burgomeister of that town." And they look at each other and they're like, they give you that side eye. And they said, "Well, you were out during the day, so you can't be that much trouble. We'll let you in. But notice, we will be watching you. You'll have eyes on you at all times."
Does he mention Arena at all?
No. Who? Ismark?
Yeah.
No, he's just
Like-
saying, "Hey, let me in." He doesn't mention her.
So we're at Valaki where he's expecting them to protect his sister and he's not gonna
He hasn't made
say-
mention of her yet.
I'm
It's not
I
their
don't know
business.
if this is what I should do. Yeah, but I feel like if it's the people that are expected to protect her, then they should know.
I don't think it's
something.
them specifically.
Yeah, if Kaylin starts to run her mouth too much, I'm gonna kind of clap my hand over her mouth.
No, that's just me thinking, but can I just insight check Ismark?
What are
Like,
you
not
looking
say
for?
anything, just
Bear with
Yeah.
me, guys. I'll be right back.
try and understand like his process in trying to get us in.
Sure. I mean, I don't know how much you would.
It's a 10, so probably not much of.
It's confusing to you at what he's trying to do or what he's getting at.
Mhm.
But I will say that since you're studying him awful hard, he looks at you and he gives you a look like, and just kind of shakes his head and turns back around, and you hear heavy iron chains being drawn back from the gates, not particularly locked, but just drawn through, and you hear the squeak of the gate as it opens up, and they're like, "Come in, enter." And then Ismark looks at them and says, looks at the young lady at the guard, and he says, "Your burgomaster, is he around? Where is he? Where is his estate?" And they stop and they look at him and they're like, "Well, that is an odd request, but he is more than likely in his mansion, and that will be if you follow the main road in." And then the man's like looking at her like, "Okay, please allow us. We will find friends to escort you." And he looks at each of you and says, as one of the guards walks off, he looks at you and says, "Allow me to take Irina to the burgomaster's mansion. You all are free to roam around. We will rejoin you at the Blue Water Inn soon. So please, explore, drink, eat, whatever you want to do. I have business."
Okay, so as someone who
Where is
has
his
never
business?
really answer Jacob's question, and
Okay.
then I'll ask mine. Mine's a little more in depth.
Okay. He looks at you and says, "I have to go to the mayor's mansion to arrange."
So he's not staying within the tavern.
I will stay within the tavern. Once we will join you in the tavern once we figure out how protected we could make Irina here. But as you see, Look at the walls. Barovia has none of this. And then if you look around, you'll notice that the palisade that is 15 feet tall, there's a catwalk that goes all around on the wall.
Yeah.
And you have guards that are on top of it with crossbows and longbows and pikes. It is a heavily guarded place.
I guess my question was more, potentially, could I have Aurora follow him? But if I don't want to, like if he's taking Arena with him, then I'm not going to do that. My understanding was he was like,
no, he's taking Arena,
dipping off himself.
Yeah, he wants to present Arena himself.
Okay.
And that's what he's trying to tell you all. He's like, we will meet up with you. I must take her with me, and we must find the best way to protect her here. And Arena just looks at each of you and says, please, go to the inn, look around. It is in fact one of the better cities in Barovia. And please, there's much to do here.
So, quick geographical question.
Is
Barovia both the name of the land that they're in and the name of their village?
Yes.
Okay. That's what I had picked up on, but I was just like, okay, just to clarify here.
I'm from Logan County, West Virginia, and there is a city of Logan there.
Okay.
Yeah. So that you have Barovia with the village of Barovia.
Yeah.
So, my question, as someone who never really made connections outside of my home until now, because I'm still very, I guess the best word of saying it is sheltered, not really knowing the best way to interact, and she's the one I've become the closest to during all this. Would she let me at least escort them to at least the outside of the Burgermaster's mansion to make sure that they're safe and help me feel a little bit better about it? Or will they...
What is a Burgermaster?
You know what I'm talking about.
The mayor. It's a hard word, so we'll just say mayor from now on.
There we go. Works for me.
Yeah.
But will they let me escort her, like them, to make sure they get there safely?
As you're asking this to Arena and Ismark, they look and you see 3 more guards walk up behind them. And Ismark looks at you and says, "You are very kind. But as you can see, we are protected. I think you are needed here more than we are in the... I do not want to approach with what could be seen as a bodyguard."
Okay.
Okay, that answers the question I was about to ask him. I was about to ask if, since he had hired us as essentially bodyguards because of our experience and everything, if he would like one of us to walk the streets with them to get a feel for how safe this, walls look nice and give the sense of safety, but it's a completely different experience to be with it. I mean, a lot can go on within city walls.
Sure. Well, from here, as Irina actually takes Kaylin's hand and smiles and thanks her, and she says, "We will be fine." You look around. You're actually near what is called a stockyard. What looks to be like a stockyard. If you follow the road in, you see that this is actually a bustling town. There are shops. There is the Blue Water Inn. There are different things that you can go. There's a town square up the ways. There's a lot of things that you can get into here. And the guards actually look at you and say, "Well, you seem to be a bit lost. So right now, you are in the Erisek Stockyard. Now, this stockyard, as you look at it, has several sheds and a warehouse. There is a sign that you see, is a wooden sign over the front gate of this warehouse. It says Arisik Stockyard. You can also see that parked at the south end of the stockyard, which would be off to your left, there's a sturdy carnival wagon, a rounded carnival wagon, and its colorful paint is peeling off. Faded lettering on its sides are still noticeable that spell out the words in common, Rictavio's Carnival of Wonders. And as you look a little bit closer, there is a massive heavy padlock that secures the back door. I mean, this thing is noticeable. So you're in the Arisik Stockyard. If you make your way forward up the road, there are homes, there are a few shops you can kind of find your way around in. There are... I mean, what are you looking for?
I guess we should go to the inn.
Yeah, I want to go to the inn.
Okay.
And I want to keep careful track of the turns that we're making. So starting at the gate, just kind of in my brain, like, okay, we went this far, took a right turn, went this far, took a left turn.
You're in the stockyards, all right? As you come past this, as you come past that, you're in the Arisik Stockyard. That is directly past the gate. If you walk further up the road, there is one big main road with several, offshoots leading down different places. The Blue Water Inn, they tell you, is you follow the road and it's probably halfway through the town, right, almost dead center of town, off to your right, hard to miss.
Okay.
And he looks and goes, we have the town square. We have just gotten done with one festival, but there is, you may stick around for a little bit. There might be another festival. And he just smiles real big. And he looks and he goes, it's called the Festival of the Blazing Sun. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I kind of nod and I point like this way, and I start heading towards where the inn is.
And both of them nod and be careful. And we are
watching. Is Ismark still there, or has he left?
No, Ismark's gone. You can see them walking a little ways away.
Okay. Once I get to the inn, I don't go inside. I want to go to the town square.
Okay.
Find a kind of like a bench a la Assassin's Creed where I could sit down and people watch. I want to get a feel for the city, which I'm not going to be able to do from inside of an inn. Okay. Because by the time Ismark comes back, I want to be able to give him like a, hey, this is kind of the general vibe I'm getting from inside of the city. And I want to hit like the town square, and I want to sit there for a hot minute.
So that's what Irina's doing. Elentiel's doing. Kaylin, what are you doing?
Well, since I'm still kind of, little tired from our last battle, is there a way I can rest a little bit and then just go explore?
I mean, you can,
or should I just go explore?
You can explore if you so choose. Okay, so we'll do this. We know what Elentiel wants to do. She wants to go to the town square and just chill for a minute and check everything out. Who wants to explore?
Me.
With
I kind of want to
Kaylin.
get.
I'll go with.
All right, Enoch. Elrin? You want to go exploring? Okay. Mulgar, what are you doing?
I guess we're just gonna have a party of explorers.
Okay. All right.
Before we start exploring, is the Vistani camp with the girl outside of the walls?
Yes.
So we would have to
you would
wait
you would
to
think
go.
so because common sense would tell you they would probably not set up camp inside of a town.
Okay.
But you don't really know until you really ask someone.
I will say that she said that their village was their
Outside of it,
outside
I
of the
wanted to
village.
Okay,
make
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of like,
She did say that. That was my fault.
because I'm kind of like, I'm really thinking about the girl too,
Mm-hmm.
wanting to make sure she gets back safely.
Sure.
But
Let's go check on her then.
okay, if we have time, we should check on her and then explore.
So
We can go do it.
Ellen Till, let's resolve you all. Let's get you all to the inn first, and then you all can go explore, and Ellen Till can go to the town square.
Yeah.
As you're all walking through the town, it's busy. I mean, there are people that are going to and fro, probably peddling their wares. They are a little more friendly than in Barovia. Some are even smiling. Some nod, some look down, some keep smiling, even though they won't make eye contact with you. You smell different smells in the air. You may smell cooking, firewood, a wood fire. You hear soft tones of busy streets. Not like, this is not by Waterdeep or Baldur's Gate by any means. Any stretch of the imagination.
But
This
in
is-
comparison to Barovia, this
It is
the
a
big city.
metropolis
Yeah.
compared to Barovia. You make your way up the street, and off to your right, you see a sign hanging down, written in common, that says the Blue Water Inn, and it has a wooden sign painted in red letters with a blue wave behind it. There you can find, as you walk in or walk near it, you can smell what seems to be it smells like good food. You hear kind of a buzz inside, people talking. Each of you take a look around. I'm trying to figure out how we're going to do this. Ellen Teal looks at you and lets you all know her plans, and takes off back down the road. Because you all would have noticed that you did pass the town square as you went by.
Mm-hmm.
As you're standing, the rest of you, in front of the Blue Water Inn, you have multiple choices that you can go. That is the wrong map.
While the rest of us are making a decision, Jacob, can you feed the cat, please?
You can make your way back to the square. You can make your way into the inn to maybe ask some people what would be the best way, the best thing to do. There is multiple little shops that you've passed, mostly homes, and some people, pushing carts or with stands on the side of the road. So it is up to you all what you would like to do. Would you like to go in, maybe sit down and drink, or ask the bartender or some of the locals where to start or what to do, or what did you want to do?
I have a feeling if we go to the Vistani camp, we're going to get drunk there anyway. Or at least I will. So.
All right, Elrin.
I figured I'd go inside since we were talking about wanting to go find that girl. Go inside and ask
Okay.
some of the people about if they know where the Vistani camp is outside of the walls.
Would y'all like to wait for Elrin to do that?
So Elrin's going into the Blue Water Inn, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to also go in. I want to see if I can find any more information about the Raven woman.
Okay.
I'll go in and just kind of get a feel for
Okay.
the atmosphere while they're asking their questions.
Okay.
Outside
What about
and
you?
wait.
Enoch, you down with that?
I'm gonna sit outside and wait for them to come out.
Okay.
I'll watch across the roof from Millenfield.
So you walk up, you walk in, a small bell jingles as you open the door to the Blue Water Inn, and a wave of smells hit you, food and wine. And almost everybody stops talking and turns around and stares at you. And then they start talking again. And they continue. You make your way up to the... As you make your way in, you notice that this inn is definitely, as you notice, it was 2 stories. You walk in, there are 2 long tables on either side, and 2 round tables, and 3 booths. So the 3 booths and the 4 tables, and then there's a bar behind it. There is a staircase off to the right that leads upstairs to more rooms and common area, but you notice that most of the ceiling, it's just an open ceiling. You know, there is no room up there, so everything has got to be towards the back, over top of the kitchen area and all that, where rooms are. So it's kind of like there's an open area to below, so you can look over the railing into what's going on. There are multiple people seated at each table, and a couple scattered across the bar. There is a man, a human male, that is working as the bartender in the back. And he looks at each of you and just kind of shrugs and points to the bar and says, "Pull up a seat."
I'm pulling up a scene.
Okay.
Yeah.
He looks at you and says,
Ken.
"My name is Erwin Martikov. I'm the innkeeper here, and I will be happy to help you. Would you like to start with maybe a glass of wine or something to eat?"
Some food.
Some food? I can do that. We have on the menu today, we have a wolf steak with a side of rosemary potatoes. And then we have traveler's stew. So each of them will be 1 silver piece. So it's up to you.
I do stew and potatoes.
You know what? Since you're new here, I will do that for you.
Some
The stew has potatoes in it, but if you want a side of potatoes, I can do that for you.
just want to mash up the roasted potatoes and then put the stew on top.
Okay. And he goes, "And what about your friends here? The tall one and, well, the short one."
I guess I'll just have a glass of wine, whatever
Well, I tell you what.
recommend.
We have what you probably have known as purple grape mash number 3 for 3 copper pieces. Or you can do a pint of the superior, much tastier Red Dragon Crush for 1 silver piece.
Let's do the fancier stuff.
A pint of Red Dragon Crush. What about you, big man?
Mogar will be like, "I will take the wolf steak."
Man after my own heart. That will be 3 silver pieces.
I was gonna take that off my sheet and I can't find where it's at.
That's fine. As long as you say you're going to pay, you will take it off later. All right. So he scoops up the silver pieces that you place on the bar and walks to the back. And he's gone for a minute, and you can see that people are talking. Most of them have smiles on their faces, and some of them have a smile and a worried look on their face, but they continue talking. At that moment, you see Erwin walk back out, and he's holding a plate and a bowl, and behind him is a woman that is raven hair, pale skin. She comes out, and she is a beautiful woman. Both of them probably about their middle age, mid to late 40s, but still looking pretty fit. He is dark haired as well, a bit more on the tan side than she, but not tan, if that makes sense. She walks out and she's carrying a pint mug, and a bowl of potatoes. And she says they all set them down, and he looks at each of you and says, with the food, it does come with a cup of purple grape mash number 3, and he pours each of you a cup of wine. And he looks at you and says, "So, what brings you to the Blue Water Inn?" What brings you to the Blue Water Inn?
I want Elrin to go first, but I guess Mogar would be like, I'm actually looking for some information.
What kind of information are you looking for?
And then Mogar will explain to him, I guess as quickly as he can, about the encounter he had with the Raven Lady, and basically said that she told him to seek guidance here and could potentially find allies here.
How odd. So you saw a woman turn into a raven and fly away?
Usually after drugs.
And you trusted her?
I mean,
anyone. I already had a job to escort someone to Vallaki, and figured I would stop by anyways.
Well, I'll tell you this. You have good instincts, my friend. Because ravens, in Barovia at least, carry the souls of the dead to their final resting place. They are not evil creatures, as some might say. So, when you see a raven, know that they are only doing the work of the gods. But what intrigues me is this. This woman you saw that turned into a raven. What was her name?
I actually did not get her name. The encounter was so fast. Described this information and fled.
Did she tell you whom to seek?
She did not.
Erwin looks around and he looks back at his wife. And he smiles and he says, I think she means that you need to talk to Rictavio. I will let you decide what that means, but I will tell you this. Rictavio is a young man who has come to Barovia, and he has ears much like yours, and he points to Kalen. And he plays a lute, and he entertains here. He had a monkey with him. Are you familiar with what a monkey is?
I think so.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, you all know. It doesn't have the monkey right now, but he has a large, colorful wagon that he keeps near the stockyards. He comes in here quite a bit. I think you all would find him most intriguing. And next time you see a woman who might turn into a raven, you might want to get her name. And he just smiles real big. You, young man, and he looks at Elrin. What question did you have?
Well, we helped rescue this little girl off of a boat. A man was trying to throw her into a lake. She's Vistani, and we need to know where the Vistani camp is.
Gods. He did it, didn't he? He did it. That idiot. And he swears in a language y'all have never really heard, but you can tell that this is a swear word. And he's just like, Was it an old man who was pretty much pissed drunk, standing in a boat?
Mm-hmm.
And he looks and he says, he looks back at the woman and she says, "Calm down, dear. Calm down." The drunken idiot threw the girl into the lake. What am I supposed to do? And she's like, "Well, report him." He's like, "Well, he'll get no more wine here. No more. I was doing him a favor, I thought, by just..."
You could probably still find him at the boats.
Why is that?
He was not in good condition after we saved the little girl.
What did you do to him?
Kissed him.
Excuse me?
Oh, I think you heard me. My fist has kissed him.
Your accent has changed, sir.
I was more just gonna say he was thrown overboard and he was really shaken up after not knowing how to swim. But I mean,
honesty is the key.
That was Bruno. Bruno used to trade fish for wine in here, and I knew they had no coin, so I took what I could. And unfortunately, I indulged him too much. I will report him to what passes as law enforcement around here, and we will see what can be done about him. Enjoy your food. I'm sorry? The Vistani
Where's the Vistani camp?
I'm so sorry, I almost forgot. You follow the main road out of the gates, and then you would not be able to miss it. Trust me on that. But it's off the road to the left. Is there any reason why you would go to the Vistani camp?
Just to check on the little girl, make sure she made it home safe. She ran ahead without us.
You're good people. But if you go out to the eastern gate, or western gate, if you go out to the western gate, you will find the road leads on down the old Slavic road, and then there will be a path off to the left, and that is where the Vistani are camping.
Okay.
But in the meantime, before you go there, I think I know which little girl that you speak of. She is something else, this young one. Give her time. I'm sure she's fine. If she was not, we would have heard so by now. Trust me.
does she come this way, like into?
No, but I'm familiar with her family.
Okay.
They make their way here quite a bit.
So then I'm gonna go, when I hear that, I'm gonna go grab Enoch from outside and let him know that I feel as if we can just wait and see if that family visits while we are here in town, instead of us necessarily having to stop by the Vistani camp. and let you come in and have lunch or a drink if you want to before we start exploring.
So, I have a question for Ronnie after you guys are done with your
Go
thing,
for
but
it.
Yeah, I'll hop in. One of the things I'm looking for on all these people, how many of them are wearing like neck guards that aren't armored?
In the walls, not many. If any, you don't see anything like that, really. They're wearing common clothes.
It's kind of similar to what Arena's wearing.
Nothing like Lorena's wearing. The guards have higher collars. But
Well,
it's
that would
more
be part of the armor.
Yeah, it's part of the armor. But nobody's really wearing that in these walls.
Okay. So, let's go drink.
Okay. While you all are drinking and eating, let's resolve Ellentil real quick. As you make your way to the town square, shops and homes that enclose the town square are decorated as you walk in. They're decorated with limp and tattered garlands and painted wooden boxes filled with tiny dead flowers all around. Now, at the north end of the square stands a row of stocks, and you see in this stocks there are several men, women, and children locked in them. They are wearing crude plaster donkey heads. In the center of the square, you see peasants in patchwork clothes. And as you walk in, they've never really seen anyone like you, and they eye you suspiciously. And they use cups and vases to draw water from a crumbling stone fountain. Now, standing at the center of this fountain is a gray statue of an impressive man facing west, back towards the Blue Water Inn.
Okay. Is West. When do I recognize the man?
No.
Okay. So it's not a statue of Strahd.
No. But all around the square, you notice there are proclamations that are posted. And you look and you read and comment, it says, "Come one, come all, to the greatest celebration of the year, the Wolf's Head Jamboree. Attendance and children required. Pikes will be provided, and all will be well. The Baron."
What title does Strahd bear?
No one has really told you. Other than Strahd von Zarevich, or the Demon Strahd.
Okay. Is there somebody sitting on one as I'm walking to the town square, and once I'm in the town square, how many people are armed?
You actually, as you walk into the town square, no one is really armed. But as you're looking around, across the square, you notice a large man flanked by 2 town guards. And he comes in, he starts barking orders, and he says, "You and you, tear down all the old proclamations." And then he looks back as 2 of them are carrying, or 2 more guards are coming up, and they're carrying boxes filled with papers. And he says, "You and you, start posting the new ones." And he's armored, and he's carrying a large sword on his side, and his left arm he has a shield, a large shield on his left arm.
Okay. I walk up to this guy.
You gonna walk right up to him?
Yeah. And I say, I'm new in town. I'm trying to get a feel for the village. But I noticed that you're in the process of redecorating, and was wondering if you could use an extra set of hands.
And he looks at you and says, "Who are you?" And you notice this man is large, and he's bald, and he is definitely battle scarred in his face. And he gets this irritated look on his face. And he says, "I don't know who you are, or where you come from. But you get out of my face.
I kind of step back and put my hands up and I go, just trying to offer some help.
No need your
And,
help. Idiots! Hurry up!
I go over to one of the guards who's helping take down the proclamations. And I say, this land is strange to me and foreign. And I have a couple of questions. If I'm going to help him take some of the proclamations down.
And he stops. He stops you. He's like, stop. First of all, you don't work with us. And do not let Isaac see you. Or Isaac.
Okay, and does he seem scared of Isaac?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I'm not even going to make you roll for that one. Yes.
When he tells me to stop, then I'll stop. And I say, just 2 quick questions, and then I'll leave you to your work. Why are they in the stocks, and who is the statue of?
The statue... No one really knows who the statue represents. Now, our Burgermeister, he claims that it is Boris Valakovich. Now, he would be his ancestor and the town's founder. But there's no real family resemblance. And if you tell anyone I'm telling you this, we're both dead. You realize this, right? In fact, I will go as far as tell you this. The people in the town, in the stocks, they were arrested for malicious unhappiness. And he just looks at you and says, malicious, he's like, yes, malicious unhappiness. The Wolfhead Jamboree has already happened, and he looks over and he snaps. He says, come here. He takes one of them and he just shoves a proclamation in your arms or in your hands, and he says, if you're still here, attendance is mandatory. And then he walks off and starts tearing down the old proclamations again.
Okay, and what is so I look at the proclamation he just shoved into my hands.
Come one, come all, to the greatest celebration of the year. The Festival of the Blazing Sun. Attendance and children required. Rain or shine, all will be well. The Baron.
Okay.
I have so many questions and thoughts, but I'm not there, so I can't ask them.
Right.
What did you say the guard told me the guy's name was? Who the town master is naming the statue is of?
Isaac. I-Z-E-K.
No. The statue.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The town master's claiming that it's his ancestor, but I didn't catch the guy's name.
Boris Valakovich. Boris, B-O-R-I-S. Valakovich, V-A-L-L-A-K-O-V-I-C-H. Like Valaki Valakovich.
Okay. Okay, this raises some flags for me.
You do see, as you're standing there reading this, Isaac is still barking orders, and he walks up to the men and women and children in the stocks. You notice that all of them, they're tired and they're wet and they're famished. They look hungry.
And I can see this even through the donkey masks.
Oh, you can just tell they're emaciated.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
And they're obviously wet. And
yeah.
Isaac just looks at them and says, "Looks like you will learn to smile," and then walks off.
Okay.
And with that, raises a great mystery. It is 9 o'clock. And we're going to end our session.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Brief time.
So we're going to end our stream there. I hope everyone that was watching had fun. Gang, did you guys have fun?
Yes.
Be honest. Just because you're on stream doesn't mean you don't have to. You can be honest. So join us next week, next Tuesday, and we will be back.